Good morning. It is October 24th. Welcome to another Wednesday Wisdom Call. My name is Marty Forrest. My website is Hello Extraordinary Life. You can go there. On the landing page, there's a free offer for 3 steps to reprogramming your negative self-talk. You'll be added to the email list when you sign up for that, and then you get all the emails that talk about what topic will be for this call and other information, and when the course, 6-week course, will be offered again next year. I'm also available for one-on-one coaching for those that are ready and know that you just need some help navigating through that mental chatter and stuff that we do that just constantly sabotages ourselves. So I came to a point of I help people rise and shine. And I help people raise their vibration by clearing that mental chatter so that they can shine their light in the world. That's what that really means. And that's what we're all here to do. So that's what I get to, that's why I do these calls, and that's what I get to do when I'm coaching with you and in the 6-week course. So there's many ways that we can help each other. Today we're talking about it was my own skewed perspective, and I'm certain I relate to many people. And someone was talking about, before we started the recording, about people-pleasing and taking care of ourselves. And where do you think these skewed behaviors might come from? We have this, I call them skewed, and we have a lens. We all have a lens that we look through at the world. We all have a perspective about our world based on how we were raised, based on our ancestors, based on our DNA, based on many, many things that create our view of the world. Some people wear these rose-colored glasses. Everything's always great and wonderful and beautiful. Maybe on the inside of them it's not really that. I don't know. I don't live in their skin. I can pretend to be Pollyanna, but it's really not. It really doesn't serve me to... It serves me to be positive and look at the good things. However, if I'm not acknowledging what's there to shift into the good things, then I'm simply stuffing it. So that's part of our whole experience of being human, is learning how to acknowledge all of it, knowing that when I wake up in the morning and I wonder how I'm going to pay my bill, where the money's going to come from, I don't have to stay there. I don't have to stay in that. But that's a fear that will show up once in a while, and I don't have to stay in that. I can simply shift that focus and look at all the things I have. I acknowledge that thought and say, oh, thank you. Thank you for showing up, reminding me. And then I look at every single thing. I have a lot to be grateful for. However, we've been programmed from our childhood generally, whether it's our parenting, our caretakers, maybe we got into abusive relationships. I say childhood because we wouldn't choose abusive kind of relationships if we hadn't already been conditioned or abused in some way. However we interpreted it, it could only be our interpretation. It may not be true. But my interpretation says I was abused, I was criticized, I was whatever the list is that I make it mean. And that's my view. So what do? I tend to abuse myself. And then my skewed perspective, what I was writing about, which I didn't say in the emails, and I'll say it here, is my husband smoking. He smokes cigars. I don't like it. I don't want to be around it. I get an attitude about it. I get bitchy about it. And I'm talking to my friend, and I'm like, I realized I keep trying to make peace with myself about it. And then I feel like I'm punishing him for it because I don't like it. And the smell of it and and he smokes it like a cigarette. So he inhales, and now he smells. He has that smoking smell. And that's just my deal. It's my thing. That's his choice if he wants to do that. And what my friend reminded me of, well, so you're choosing to take care of yourself, right? Here's where my skewed perspective came in, because I feel like I'm punishing him and I'm being a bitch about it and I'm making him bad and wrong for it. And I'm simply saying, I don't like it. And I really choose to not have it be in my space. So he's always out in the shop. He doesn't smoke in the house. He always cleans up. He's totally respectful about it. But in my mind, I still feel like, because of my people-pleasing, which was mentioned earlier, that I'm hurting his feelings and I'm making him bad and wrong. And in the beginning, that was true. I absolutely was doing that. And then I get to look and go, am I still doing that? Am I still punishing him, or am I simply saying, please be respectful of my space? My feelings are not fact. They're simply feelings. It's still true I don't like it, but I'm simply asking him to be respectful. What he chooses to do is what he chooses to do, and it's really not my business. Unless he's, gambling our money away or something. He smokes cigars. That's his choice. And my skewed is because, I'm hurting him. I'm hurting his feelings. I'm being an asshole to him because of his choices. I'm simply choosing. I'm making a choice to take care of me and say, I'm going to stay out of the garage when you're out there smoking. Right? It's real simple. It sounds really stupid even when I say it out loud. It's real simple. That's how I take care of me. That's my boundary. Is there a consequence? Yeah, there is. And there are choices that I make about it, and then there are consequences for my choices. It doesn't mean I have to stay in that place of feeling like I'm punishing him or making him wrong about it. And that was helpful for me to shift my perspective to go, I'm simply taking care of me. And that's just one example. The woman who messaged me about, stop inviting me to all your crap. I don't even know who you are. I'm like, okay, so my perspective being a people pleaser, I'm the queen of that too. I wear that hat. I wore it proudly for a long time. Was, I don't even know this woman, first of all. I don't know who she is. She was added to the group by someone else. And rather than just take herself out, she had to lash out. But my initial reaction to it when I first read it was like, oh God, am I doing this to everyone? Does everyone feel like this? Am I sending too many emails, too many invitations? But I mean, just and I went, okay, stop. I had to stop myself. Stop. First of all, I don't know this woman. Second of all, I can look at her and go, wow, she's in a lot of pain, and she's lashing out. Maybe she needs to be in the group, but that's not my business. So by her choice of behavior, here's the consequences. I took her out of the group. I said nothing to her. I simply took her out of the group. That's, again, taking care of me. So for us, it's that same thing I talk about often as disrupting our patterns. Because however we have been raised and taught to think about the world and think about ourselves, that's not always my first reaction, but sometimes if the right button gets pushed, the right wound gets touched, that's my first reaction. Is that skewed perspective? That's not the truth. It's not the truth. The only way any one of us can take care of others is to take care of ourselves first. That needs no explanation. I don't need to tell people why. No is a complete answer. No, I'm sorry, I'm not available. No, I'm not going to do that. Complete. I don't need to explain myself. Being our people pleasers, coming from that perspective of I must keep everyone happy, I often used to feel like, I don't do this so much anymore, that I must explain my why I can't do it, or why I must go take care of me. And what I learned over the many years of doing that is I'm simply giving them ammunition. And I'm still seeking their approval by feeling like I must explain myself. All out of my skewed, I must keep them happy. I must keep them liking me. Okay, well, here's another truth. If I don't like everyone, why do I think everyone's going to like me? I can't make everybody happy. If I'm doing what's in my best interest, it's also in their best interest, because then I'm going to show up 100% to whatever I'm doing, for them, for me. So a little shifting of that. Our skewed perspective comes from however we've been raised. I know I've said this over and over. How we've been raised, how we view the world. If we don't know how to do it different or see it different, call someone, find a really good book to read, ask yourself if it's true. How do you know it's true? Is it really true? Right? Same question, but you're going to get a little deeper each time. Is it really true I must do this thing to make them happy? Is that really true? Most likely not. But if I'm always seeking external validation, I'm always going to do that. And that's where that shifting and asking ourselves if it's really true that we might get to some different truth. If I'm going to make me happy, then I'm much more able to make you happy. But if I'm always trying to make you happy, then I'm never going to measure up. It's never going to be enough. And as soon as I think I get close to that measure of however I'm measuring it based on what you think and how I'm interpreting what you think, I'll change the measure. Just letting that sit in there for a minute, because as soon as I get close to where I think I'm going to measure up, I'll change it. Because the underlying of all of this, fear and never enough. Yep. And always seeking approval because I'm never enough. I don't live in that same space today, but I lived there most of my life. So now it's about moving out of that, because that's a completely skewed perspective. And until we're willing to even look and examine my perspective from where I stand or sit or look, can I begin to look at something else? So if you know you're a people pleaser, what do you do different? How can you shift your perspective to see a different way of pleasing? And maybe it's about pleasing you first. Maybe it's about pausing instead of committing right away. I used to get really excited, and I'd be all inspired by somebody else's goal or vision or what they wanted, and I'd say, yes, I can do it. And I'd never say no. But guess what happened? Things get dropped out, or I just don't show up. There's a great recording I did some time ago called People Yesing. It's all about this. So learning how to say no. No is the complete answer. No, thank you. Not at this time. And being uncomfortable in that. And I think the three of us have talked about this before, where when we begin to change the behavior, we begin to see ourselves differently. We begin to see maybe the truth about ourselves is that we're a whole, complete human being. The only person I need to live up to is me. The only person I need approval from is me. That doesn't mean that the outside is not add to that, but if I'm only seeking it outside, it will never be enough. So beginning to be able to see what drives us. What do I really need or want? what's going to make me happy is going to usually make them happy. And maybe it doesn't, but that's because they want something different from us. And some of the whys, aside from how we've been conditioned, is we get attached to that outcome. We want them to be different so that we can be happy or feel okay. Right? So we do all kinds of things to pretzelize ourselves, when in the end, we're the ones that become resentful and angry and frustrated because we're still trying to always reach that place, that outside. The first thing I did was call someone. If that's not something that you do easily, maybe you pray about it and go, oh, okay, Spirit, how's God viewing you? How's your, whatever that is for you, your higher power, how do they view you? It's never the way I do. If I had a friend who spoke to me the way that I speak to me, would I still be their friend? That's sometimes a really good measure and a way to check in with ourselves about how we are viewing ourselves. Looking to people who have something that we want. Straight up asking people. I tell people, hey, I need a new perspective. I know how I'm thinking here is not accurate. And I call someone that I trust and that I know can help me shift out of that. That's where I go with it. Or I find, maybe you go to my website and you find some recording, people yesing, that addresses some more of this people-pleasing thing. Probably any one of them is going to cover something about it because it's all about us on the inside and how do we learn to love ourselves from the inside out. You just to stop seeking outside in. Stop measuring my insides by their outsides. Pausing before I give an answer to someone. If someone's asked me for something, pause. Hey, when you didn't answer by, I learned this somewhere along the way because I kept saying yes to everything. And then I'd either not show up or I'd cancel it or I'd have to go back and then say, no, I'm so sorry. But what I couldn't say is I really wanted you to like me, so I said yes because I thought that would make you like me more. Right? I would never say that out loud, but that's what was really going on. So I started saying, can I have 24 hours to think about that? Can I give you an answer tomorrow? When do you need an answer by? And if it was right now, no. I would say no. In all of that, when you start doing something new, I'm going to remind you again, it's uncomfortable. It's uncomfortable because it's new and it's unfamiliar. And when it feels uncomfortable, it's probably the right thing. When it's discomfort, different, right? When it's discomfort because we've said yes when we really wanted to say no, that's different. When it's uncomfortable, it's because I'm doing something different and unfamiliar. Even asking for a 24-hour period can be uncomfortable because it's new, right? It's not something that we've done before. And if we don't know these tools, that's why you're here. So all these were recorded. Check them out on the website under Insider Calls. And gain some more tools and insights for this very topic. All right, I rattled on a lot. Was it helpful? Any aha moment?
Yes, it was. But sometimes I have to catch myself, and when I say no or I want to take care of myself, that I maintain my dignity and I allow the other person to maintain their dignity. So I have to be careful. It's not what I say, but it's the tone of voice that I say it in.
Yes, ma'am.
And sometimes, if I have to use the wrong tone of voice, it just escalates. It pisses the other person off and stuff. And so, like you say, I try to pause and try to formulate my words so I can get my point across, but be kind about it and not be come across as aggressive or bitchy to the other person. That's
right.
hard to do.
Yes. Well, and sometimes it's as simple as thank you for asking me. I appreciate that invitation, and I'm not able to. Right, that's a lot better than, nope, sorry, not going to work out.
Yeah.
And appointments with yourself on your calendar are appointments with yourself on your calendar, and that's why you don't need an explanation. Right? It's my time from 8 to 10, whatever. I'm picking just random times. And I don't have to explain that to anyone. I just can say, no, I have an appointment at that time. It might be with me, but it's an appointment at that time. I thought of that as you were talking. I'm like, oh, here's another tool for you. How about you, Miss Lisa?
It hits home for me because of what I've been going through the past month. So, yeah, definitely. And it's not comfortable telling somebody no and trying to take care of me. Mm-hmm. I know in my center that it's the right thing to do. I know I'm happier because I'm protecting myself and taking care of me, but it still feels foreign, and it hurts knowing that I've hurt somebody else by pushing them away. But in the long run, it's going to be healthier for everybody that's included in that mess.
It's called self-preservation, and sometimes we're teaching them what they also need to learn by taking care of ourselves. Even though it feels like you're pushing away, really you have a boundary that says this behavior is no longer acceptable here.
But I find myself explaining myself to other people still.
It's okay.
Like I'm still trying to convince myself I did the right thing, when I know in my heart I did do it because I've been happier and freer.
Right. So trust the evidence, right? Trust the evidence that's speaking to you. And when you find yourself explaining, maybe you stop. And you just call that out for yourself. I'm still trying to convince myself that it was the right thing, and I just have to trust that. You get to trust it.
But, sometimes in taking care of yourself, when dealing with other people, sometimes you have to compromise in order for me to feel okay and allow the other person to feel okay about the resolution.
Absolutely. Come up with a win-win.
Yeah.
Yep. Excellent. Thank you so much for being here this morning.
Marty, what's the website again where I can look at some of your previous presentations?
It's Hello Extraordinary Life.
Hello.
The same name as the meetup group. HelloExtraordinaryLife.com.